Hey everyone. So, it's been a while. How's everyone? Rev, good to see you. S- yeah, I know. What up, what up? Bagel, Sooner fan 4321. Welcome
Oh, I
Tom.
do not want that.
You don't
Hey!
you don't want what, Tom?
Oh, I'm settings on my computer right now.
You don't want any settings? That
Well,
seems ill
no.
advised.
Well, it was gonna have me hearing this conversation more than once, and I don't even want to hear it the first time.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, no, I was saying it feels like a long time since we've had a show, but I think it's just been a long time since we have the regular show with you and me. Friday was great. Chisholm Holland was awesome. It was a great show. Um,
Yeah, when you posted out the, hey, we're doing a live show tonight, I almost asked, are you doing it with the good one or the bad one? Like co host.
we're doing it with a good one.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Heart, Tom.
Heart, yeah.
So what's going on, chat? Tom is
Tom is
back,
back.
and it's time for shots.
Let's go. I'll go get the, uh, I'll go get the ball of tequila I've got just sitting on my bar out there, and we will go at it.
Ooh, I've got a bottle of tequila too in the fridge.
All right, I'll be back. Give me 2 seconds.
Is this night getting weird?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. See what you did, Bagel. See what you did. So there's this I don't know if you've seen, but there's this old guy somewhere in Texas. He's like a AM radio guy in what is it? I don't know. Some no name town, Texas. And he hates me.
All right, I'm back.
What up?
I've also got this new shot glass. It's not even a glass. It's like the knob of a baseball bat. And that's got the St. Louis Cardinals emblem in it
Nice.
that I have yet to try out. So I've got this bottle of tequila. I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold off on it until special moments in this chat, uh, which I'm sure we'll have plenty of.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Prof says made it. Just poured a dram of I'm assuming some Scottish word.
Yeah, those letters don't go together like that.
Yeah. Scotch. Okay, so I was right. I was right. I was telling him about this old man who like hates me. He's like this AM radio guy in Texas, and every time John Hoover like teases the podcast for the week when I get on, he's got an episode every week where
Mm-hmm.
I have a little segment, and every time he posts it, this dude comes on and he's like, "You got to be kidding me." Last week he called me a waste of air.
I saw that. I don't even know what that meant.
I tried to hold my breath so he could get some, but I like he tweeted again this week, so I assume he got his air.
Wow. I don't know if that's. I was gonna go with that's unfortunate, but that might be a little too dark. I don't know.
Okay, boomer.
Exactly.
I asked Twitter to give him directions back to Facebook. All right, so Tom, initial thoughts on the college football playoff rankings? How are we looking? What do you think about number 9? People in front of us. Well, what are your takes? What are your thoughts?
I think number 9 is a fair placement of this team. I think I think everything went as well as it could for Oklahoma with the initial rankings. You've got Baylor sitting there at 12, Kansas State surprisingly up at 16, which which makes the loss to Kansas State simply a loss, not a bad loss. Uh, and then Oklahoma State being at 23rd, like that gives the Big 12 some credit, I guess, and it gives Oklahoma the opportunity for 3 ranked matchups uh, here in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought. I mean, it's. I thought that was as good of a ranking as you can get with sitting on a loss for 2 weeks. I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was. I thought that was fine. Um, you know, a lot of games to be played, like including the top four, literally are going to pair off and play each other. If not this week, but very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to cause some shakeup. Um, and yes, Georgia, Oregon, and Utah are all ranked higher than OU right now, but in like previous years, the committee doesn't mind jumping a team that still has a similar record. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that's that's not as big of a barrier as maybe it seems like. Um, but who is like public enemy number one for Oklahoma?
Who's that?
That is Georgia. If Georgia wins out, that's not only trouble for Oklahoma, that's trouble for a lot of college football.
Sure.
Because if Georgia wins out, that's a one-loss SEC champion, which they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to keep out.
No.
But that means that you also have a one-loss LSU and a one-loss Alabama.
Hmm.
If they, you know, there's a winner of LSU Alabama, which there will be. That's how the rules work. And then that winner goes and loses the SEC title game against Georgia.
Wouldn't
So,
LSU have 2 losses if Alabama wins it? I'm confused.
well, no. So, say
Oh, I'm dumb.
LSU wins
I'm dumb.
and
Just
then
keep going.
loses,
Keep
right?
going.
Okay, so you've got 3 one-loss SEC teams and one
You really
champion.
should have kept doing this with the other guy.
And 2 of them, if Georgia wins, then they have one loss and they're the SEC champion, and the other 2 have one loss and they were in the initial top 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a worst case scenario for a lot of teams, including Oklahoma.
Yeah. Uh, the climb
Updoc
isn't.
says, "Good to have you back, Tom."
Yeah, thanks, Up Doc. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, you're looking for something to happen that really hasn't happened in the last couple of Novembers, where you're looking for some upsets of the top couple of teams, and you know, fortunately for Oklahoma, like the schedule's there for it to happen.
Yeah,
With Ohio State and Penn State having to go at it, LSU, Alabama having to go at it. Oregon and Utah. I think they're on a crash course for that Pac-12 title game. Uh, so yeah, you're right. I think with this Georgia running the table thing, that could spell problems for Oklahoma. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. Like Ohio Ohio State wins. They go undefeated. They're Clemson at 5. That's nothing. They just keep winning out. The teams in front of them will get out of their way. They'll be in. I guess we're just kind of hoping that Clemson stubs their toe on maybe a Wake Forest, which I think they've got the last week of the season.
yeah, yeah, and that
And,
can
and apparently Wake Forest is good.
Wake Forest is good.
Like I kept seeing them in the bowl projections in like the Orange Bowl, and I'm like, what the hell is this? The same Wake Forest that Tim Duncan went to? And like that's how I know Wake Forest is Tim Duncan's school, not this football powerhouse. I guess it's 7-1.
Miggle Bagel, feel like it's if it's OU and Oregon fighting for that last spot, they'll give it to Oregon.
Yeah, we talked about this last week. It can, each team's got something on their side. Oklahoma's got the name. And I think for that to work for Oregon, like Auburn needs to keep winning games.
Yeah. I feel like OU is out this year unless they get a lot of help. Yeah, I agree. It's going to take some help. But, like I said, all the teams in front of us are set up to, like, play each other. And so help is going to come. It's just, what help do we actually get?
Need Wake Forest to beat Clemson. Herm Edwards beat the Ducks. UCLA beat the Utes. Georgia to play normal, in which case they get rolled. Secretly want Minnesota to go undefeated. That'd be hilarious. Well, Minnesota probably got really mad at our, preseason Blue Bloods discussion. We're like, yeah, if this was 1940, Minnesota's like the best football program that's ever existed. But they've kind of laid dormant for 80 years, and this is where we're at.
Would you say they were underground, Tom?
Okay.
Like gophers. Oh,
yeah.
Everyone say goodnight to my wife.
And also stream my new single on Spotify.
Oh my gosh.
You can tell them what it's called.
We'll get to that. We're in the middle of something.
Tell them what it's called.
Hey, Sooner fan thought my joke was funny. Ooh, up doc. Night, go Whippoorwills.
You
Up
know
doc
me.
knows.
You
Up
know
doc.
who I am.
Up doc knows.
Up Doc, you're my favorite person. Thank you. I hope you have a good night.
I used to be.
You
Hope
did
you have a
not
good
tell-
run, Up doc.
You did not tell the internet who I was.
I think that
Besides
ship
being
sailed
your
like
wife.
2 weeks after you got married. That's when the novelty wore off.
Yeah, probably.
I don't even need to know. Love you. Tell them the band name and tell them the song.
Ever since the playoff came into place in 2014, the initial number 3 ranked team in the
I'm taking
CFP
my first
playoffs
shot.
has never made the playoffs. That is Bama right now.
Ooh,
Nice.
Ooh, that's
a good tidbit.
a fun fact. Oh shit, this thing fills up real quick.
What's that? The chat or your glass?
Nah, this shot knob thing.
Shot knob.
Yeah, shot knob. Yeah, we also got to keep in mind that, and I don't remember the exact scenario behind everything, but I think that first time Oklahoma went to the playoffs, they were something, 16 in the initial ranking?
15, yeah.
15, 5th and 7th were the other 2 seasons.
Yes. That is right.
I mean, you can look at it, for what it is, and, this is eventually going to determine the playoff. But this is more of a map to see what they're thinking. Because so much can happen between now and the end of the season. And like we've already said 50 times in this, everyone's got to play each other. We really need to find new talking points.
Yeah. I mean, but, what? There's going to be, what? 5 more meaningful college football playoff rankings?
There's one more meaningful one. It's the last one. All of these are equally meaningful.
I don't know. I would argue that, but the most meaningful one is like 5 weeks away, right?
Tide has to fall past Sooners. If not, forget it, man. Well, I'm sure everyone caught your initial CFP rankings. I thought they were pretty spot on going into it.
I was just trying to guess what maybe the committee would do. based on public perception and precedent set in the past. I didn't know. I wasn't far off either.
No, I think you forgot Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
Vanderbilt, yeah.
That's David Price School.
I'm aware. Maybe for this joke, I should go Arkansas. Arkansas is probably the better way to go for this joke.
Oh,
especially
yikes.
the train. Well, somehow Vanderbilt's got a win in conference. They scored 78 points in conference play.
I think, the Alabama scout team still has a chance, even losing this week to Alabama and every other week to Alabama.
Yeah.
They still have a chance, though.
Sure.
Like, seriously, though, Bo Nix. Like, everyone needs to get off of, Bo Nix's nuts, right? Like,
Bo Nix dicks.
that is a weird thing. The Bo Nix thing is weird. Up, Doc. LSU must Alderaan the tide.
Ooh, where would Arkansas and Vanderbilt end up in Big 12 play? This is, I think, a situation where Kansas doesn't finish last.
I think so. I think Kansas beats the hell out of Vanderbilt and probably beats Arkansas. Arkansas is bad.
Arkansas is so bad.
So bad.
We kind of missed our how we should have started this show. We should have started this show with happy birthday.
We should have.
Happy birthday to college football. Today is the 150th anniversary of that first game.
Yes.
Princeton and Rutgers.
Yes,
so
Princeton and Rutgers.
I spent a good portion of my day looking at, top 150 lists, which, man, that is way too, once you get past 50, it's all right, you're just throwing things in there to fill this list to 150.
Fun fact, college football and my younger brother share the same birthday.
Oh, is that where you thought I was going with that?
That is where I thought you were going with that, yes.
College football predates your brother by 120 years.
Yes.
People like college football more than your brother.
I don't know. Switzer statue has quite a few followers.
Oh, he is going to lose his shit.
I do have a younger brother. That younger brother goes by the name of...
Younger, dumber brother.
Well, yes. I actually have two younger brothers.
Yeah, that one's not... Well, he's younger, but he's not dumber.
Nah.
I don't think Arkansas should qualify as a state. I think that's a different debate, but I'm willing to hear it.
Louisiana should just absorb it. Make it a little top heavy there.
Like a giant boot. Das boot.
Yep. Das boot, yeah. So, I came across a tournament bracket that kind of lined out what a 16-team playoff would be. I think it's goofy, but we can run through these. I think this is it's probably a bad idea because I think most of these games no one's going to give a shit about. So, how does this move you? 1 versus 16. Ohio State versus Kansas State. How much does that move the needle for you, Tom?
Oh, I am not going out of my way to watch that football game at all.
No. Not even a little.
You can put pretty much anybody against Kansas State, and it'd be like, Well, if I'm around a TV, I guess I'll watch it. I guess the exception would be, Oklahoma, but
How about Oklahoma versus Utah in Utah? So, guessing that's like a 9 o'clock kickoff Central Time.
if we're lucky.
I mean, nobody outside of Norman, Oklahoma is watching that, right?
Probably not.
Not even, not even Utah fans are watching that game.
It's probably past their bedtime.
Clemson versus Baylor.
Oh, there is nothing redeeming in that game.
No, there's no way anyone watches that, including Clemson fans or Baylor fans. Wisconsin versus Penn State. I think that might be a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's just a conference game to me. Just a conference game. Like, I don't want to see that in the playoff. Like, get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, that game might be 9-3, so it might be a snoozer, but I mean, it's better than what we have so far.
It's gonna be better than that 63-7 Ohio State Kansas State game.
Well, I mean, here's a similar flavor: Georgia Auburn.
Yeah, same.
Don't really care about that game.
I guess the one redeeming factor of those games, I don't know if redeeming is probably not even the word I'm looking for, but what will save those games is that they're not played every year. So if they hadn't played in the regular season, that is something. But if it's a rematch of a game we saw in the regular season, I want no part of that. I want to be able to, like move seeds up and down a line like they do in the basketball tournament to create better matchups. And, someone earlier said, 6 through 9 are interchangeable,
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, and that's probably where the Wisconsin Penn State and Georgia Auburn games would differ.
Mm-hmm.
Is Wisconsin Penn State probably happens pretty often. Georgia probably hasn't played Auburn in like 20 years or something stupid. So
they probably won't play him for another 20 years too.
Yeah. How about LSU Notre Dame? I think that'll be a well-watched game. I don't know how good of a game it'll be.
I think LSU stomps Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But with it being the playoffs and Notre Dame, that game will be watched by a ton of people.
Another well-watched game that I think would happen is Alabama-Michigan. I think maybe same story here. Alabama stomps Michigan, but that's going to be a well-watched game just from the fan bases and, the following. Which brings us to the last matchup, and I think the worst matchup, and probably the least watched game. Florida Gators versus Oregon in Eugene. Woof.
That's my reaction to most of the actual bowl projections that I've seen. Not just this mock 16-team playoff, but when it comes to the New Year's Six, Georgia, Oklahoma in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, that's a game that that'd probably be a pretty good game, but I don't know that I want to see it since we saw it 2 years ago on a grander stage.
Yeah.
Penn State, Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Wake Forest and Florida in the Orange Bowl. And Memphis, Baylor in the Cotton Bowl.
Memphis, Baylor might not be too bad.
You want to talk about watched games? Camping World Bowl. Camping World Bowl. This projection has Notre Dame and Texas.
Woo! Camping World be eating that shit up.
No kidding. Like, They want everything to happen, so that's their game.
Absolutely.
What the heck? Oklahoma State versus Liberty
Oh,
in the Texas Bowl?
oh
Oh, man.
no.
I hadn't even done a deep dive on this.
Oh no.
I gotta start doing a little research before I just jump into things. Oh my.
BSV
Hold
Boom
on,
soon.
Kansas State and Utah in the Alamo Bowl, so their new coach can get an Alamo Bowl jacket to wear for the next 112 years. That'd be good. That'd be a good tradition there for Kansas State.
Yeah, there you go. BSV Boom Soon says, "What about the Old Roy Dog Shit Bowl?" And as soon as you said that, all I thought about was Cousin Eddie like putting the bags and bags of Old Roy in the cart in Christmas Vacation. Oh man, so funny. That's a great movie. You serious, Clark?
Is that a cat in the background?
That is my
Cat in the house.
wife's cat. It's the worst.
It sounds like it's in pain.
No, it's just an idiot.
Florida State versus Illinois is a game that I don't think I want to watch, but I'd watch it. That could be a pretty ugly football game.
Yeah. No bueno. Did you see POD is playing the halftime show of the Tony the Tiger Bowl?
POD?
Yes.
That sounds familiar. I can't quite place it. Just let me do a little Google search here. You say they're playing halftime, so I'm going to search POD YouTube.
Yes. Apparently POD is still a band.
Okay, Youth of the Nation. That sounds familiar.
Ref says, "I feel so alive."
All right, I gotta get through this 15-second ad real quick.
Christmas Vacation is a top 2 Christmas movie, along with Elf. So, Christmas Vacation is very good. Maybe top 2. But number 1, far and away the best Christmas movie, is A Christmas Story. It's not even close. Everything else pales in comparison. What's so funny, Tom?
Just watching some POD music videos.
Is that the band that had the one guy with like the big dreadlocks?
Yes. This is Boom, the official music video for it, and it looks like they are going to be wrestling somebody.
Awesome.
Like amateur wrestling.
Fantastic.
Oh, no, wait, they're not wrestling. I thought it was wrestling. It's ping pong.
You confused wrestling with ping pong?
They were like walking down the tunnel and they had like sweats on.
Oh my gosh. Mega Bagel says 18 playoff with first round having home field advantage. What do you think? I think an 18 playoff is fine. I don't think it dilutes the regular season as much as a lot of people kind of claim it would.
Do you still play the conference championship games? If you expand the playoffs?
Probably. You'd have to, unless all conferences kind of adopted the same. I mean, So most 18 playoffs involve like a conference champions of the Power Five getting an automatic bid.
Sure.
I mean, if you didn't do that, then it doesn't matter. You just get rid of the conference championship games and decide who your champion is, or decide
Well,
who.
ESPN
And the committee decides who the top eight teams are. If you
ESPN
do
had an
have an
article out the other
automatic,
day.
if you do have an automatic bid, then I feel like all the conferences have to have something in common with each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can't win a crappy conference with easy rules, and while someone else is doing the same, winning their conference, but it's different. You have to have some standardization if you're going to have an automatic bid for a conference champ.
ESPN had an article the other day where they had polled coaches on different aspects of college football. And that's one of the things that they quoted Lincoln Riley as saying everybody needs to get on the same kind of schedule. And he was suggesting everyone drop divisions and go to a 1 versus 2 like the Big 12 does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like the Big 12's kind of the way they do that. And I wasn't sure a few years ago about playing a team twice and having a rematch. I kind of like the rematches, because it's it's one of those things where somebody gets a redemption shot. It makes good stories. It makes good, I don't know, content. It's good. It's good storylines. I like it.
I don't think I'm as opposed to it as I was. I guess it makes more sense than unbalanced divisions like the Big 12 had.
Yeah.
But to me, if you're going to play a round robin, then don't play the championship game. You've played everyone. The rematch, the redeeming factor doesn't really do it for me.
Maybe. I see that. I mean, the only reason they added it back was because, if you're in the Big 12 conference game or conference championship game, you're probably a ranked team, and the winner of that game has a ranked win, which is good for a resume for the college football playoff.
Well, yeah. I mean, after that,
it's a business decision. Is all it is.
After that TCU Baylor debacle, when they tied for the conference, the one true champion year, and they tied for the conference, and the playoff committee's like, all right, so who's your champion? And they're like, we got co-champions. And they're like, no, seriously, Big 12, who's your champion? They're like, no, we got 2 of them. They each get half of it. And they're like, okay, then you can't come play in the playoff because you're dumb.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with the conference championship as long as every once in a while we get to beat Texas twice.
I mean, that's yet to happen. I don't see it happening this year.
Oh, it's going to happen. It's going to happen at some point. College basketball started, Tom. You excited?
I am. I was telling you the other day that I missed the tip-off marathon. Just all day and all night of basketball, kind of capped off with those big games in Madison Square Garden or wherever, they played in Chicago before. But, I missed that. I started to watch the OU game earlier today, but the replay they showed, the Thunder game had went long, so they cut into it. I'm recording a new version tonight. I'll get to it tomorrow probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it earlier this evening. There's some Oakland's got some good players, I think. The new kid, the freshman from
Harmon.
Devion Harmon is legit. He looks good. The transfer from Wichita State looks really good too.
He's going to lead the team in charges taken. I saw that from the 4 minutes I watched earlier today.
Did they call him a heady ball player?
I didn't have the audio on.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, that's enough.
Let's just assume they did.
I mean, what else would they call him?
What's the Victor Iwoki?
Wokor or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Wokor. Yeah. Ooh. Screw Tape 405. Thanks for the sub.
Oklahoma State got the number 2 recruit in the country, and they're hosting the number 1 recruit in the state of Oklahoma tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
That kid is announcing on Tuesday. It's down to Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Kansas, and North Carolina. Which 2 don't belong there?
Yeah, no joke.
Clearly, it's Kansas and North Carolina because it's an Oklahoma kid. Come on.
But yeah, thanks for the sub, Screw Tape. And reminder to everyone else that if you would like to sub, and you can do so for free if you're an Amazon Prime customer. And as Magel Bagel pointed out, when you subscribe, you get to hear Boomer Sooner. So, let's be true to form and play that thing over and over and over and over and over again.
Let's get it on a 10-hour loop.
Oh yeah. Maybe that should be the sound that goes every time there's a subscription. Every time I get a subscription, we get a subscription, 10 hours straight of Boomer Sooner.
There we go.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm. So, yesterday, Major League Baseball's Cut 4 account, Twitter account, put out a question, and I figured I'd steal it for the purpose of this show and repurpose it. And group, chat, feel free to jump in on any of these. But it's about your college football. This one will be about your college football experience. So, Blinkin, your first college football game.
My first college football game was... let's go confirm what year this was. This was a Oklahoma home game versus the University of Tulsa. This would have been, let's see, let's go make sure. This would have been sometime when I was in high school, maybe 2004. Nope. Nope. This would have been my first football game was Oklahoma versus Tulsa at the time Skelly Stadium, now H.A. Chapman, number 1 Oklahoma at Tulsa in 2002. That was my first college football game.
That's a little bit better, probably than mine. Mine was Oklahoma versus TCU in 2005.
Woof.
Yeah, that's a rough introduction.
Rough. Yeah,
that's
that was rough.
We got an Iowa versus Texas Alamo Bowl. Parents went to Iowa. Stephen F. Austin, Sam Houston.
Were those the people or the game? But yeah, no, that was my first college football game.
I think I ended up leaving that game early. Like, I think I saw all the scoring, which wasn't much. What was it, like a 17-14 game?
Yeah, something like that.
It was like Labor Day weekend or something, and my dad had driven down to pick me up to take me home for the weekend.
17-10.
17-10. Yeah, even better.
Updoc says September 30th, 1978 against Mizzou. Nice. That's
right.
That's right smack dab in the middle of the Switzer era.
All right, the last football game you attended.
The last football game I attended was last year. It was.
We got Oklahoma, West Virginia, 2019. Oklahoma, West Virginia.
Last football game I attended. Ooh. No. I didn't go to a game last year. I only went up to Norman. Last football game I attended. Would have been
We got a UCLA game this season.
Louisiana Monroe in 2016. I haven't actually been in the stadium for a game in 2
What?
years. I don't
Really?
think so. Yeah.
That sounds wrong. What do I know?
I've been up for games. Like, I've been up to Norman for games, and I've tailgated and done the whole thing. But
Yeah, I remember. Was it Bedlam last year that we just tailgated and headed back to the city?
yeah. Yeah, and I was up for UCLA last season. I was up for, a couple of games, but never actually went in and watched the game. Louisiana Monroe, 2016.
South Dakota for me. I went to that game really. Typically, if the game's on pay-per-view, that's the one I'll decide to go to. If I'm gonna have to spend money on it anyway,
Yeah.
Might as well go.
Yeah.
All right. The next football game you'll attend, Iowa State, right?
Iowa State, yeah. Yeah, I'm going up this weekend. I will be in Norman, tailgating, drinking beers, going to Iowa State.
All right. Favorite football game you've attended? Favorite football game you've attended?
Texas Tech, 2008.
Okay, that's the one I thought it was going to be. There were two others that I thought you might consider, but apparently not with as quickly as you answered that question.
Okay, what were they?
Big 12 title game in San Antonio.
That was a good one, yeah, versus Missouri.
And Notre Dame.
Notre Dame was pretty awesome, yeah. I think I'd probably put Notre Dame just behind 2008 Texas Tech. The Big 12 title game was great, but I feel like that was more of a story, more of a whole weekend. But that was awesome, yeah. Going down to San Antonio.
Last away game was Clemson in the Orange Bowl. Oof.
Oh, that's rough.
Let's see here. I take Georgia Sooners Rose Bowl, even though loss. Game, I assume that's favorite game. OU Texas 2017 or 2019. I'll take his favorite game. OU Notre Dame fun environment. 2012 Bedlam will be etched in my mind forever. Yeah, I think I'm with you. It's that Texas Tech game.
Yeah, that environment was just so awesome. And, just the way it all went down, and, oh man, that was just so great. It was so fun. So much fun. And we had just gone to a basketball game before that. That was an all-day event for us.
Yeah, basketball had like a 10 a.m., 11 a.m. tip. We went to that. We had clothes stashed in your brother's truck right by the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We went and changed, or we ate lunch at Old O'Connell's.
Yes.
We changed. We grabbed some beer, pounded some beer while we waited in line.
Oh, we crushed an 18-pack, the three of us,
Mm-hmm.
waiting in line to get into the stadium. Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day.
Night, Rev.
All right. Night, Rev. We'll see you soon.
All right, and this last question, if I can find it, here we go. All right. The question on this account is players you haven't seen live but want to. That's assuming they're still around. How about players you never saw live but would have liked to, or games you would have liked to go to, games you would have liked to have been at, or players you would have liked to seen?
I would have loved to see the Boz play. Just to watch that, watch him just wreck defenses. That would have been awesome. Individual games I would have wanted to go to. Maybe the Ohio State game in Columbus a couple years ago. That would have been fun. Maybe something like, the game of the century.
Sure.
That would have been great. OU Nebraska 1971.
Yep.
That would have been awesome. A couple others, 2000 Orange Bowl would have been awesome. 2000, was that the 2001 Orange Bowl? That was the 2000 national championship.
Yeah, like college football years don't make sense to me ever, especially with those bowl games right around the new year.
Yeah. But those are a handful that come to mind, right off.
Sure. For me, you said game of the century. I think I would have liked to seen some of the, maybe not so sooner friendly ones. Maybe the game that ended the 47 game winning streak against Notre Dame.
Boomer Sooner 1978. Nice to see you.
Maybe
we're still rocking.
Maybe the 84 game against Texas, the 15-15 tie. The other.
What year?
Is it 84?
84?
Mm-hmm.
Is it the beat Texas year?
Yeah.
Where he wore the hat? I thought that was 83. Let's go check. Let's go.
I don't know. You've got the internet.
It's fitting to tell me here.
Who's going to the game Saturday? Blinkin Riley's going to the game Saturday.
It was 1984. I stand corrected.
Tape 405 is going to the game. Sooner Fan 4321 is going to the game. Any game coached by Bud?
Yeah, that would have been cool. One that came to mind, after I finished was the Tennessee game in Knoxville.
Oh yeah.
That would have been a hell of a game. Zimmer, is that how you pronounce that? Can we meet you? Yes, Saturday I will probably be at the Sooner Podcast guys tailgate there at Brooks and Jenkins. I will be there. So, yes, I will be tailgating.
Let's not tailgate so hard that your next game is moved further down the line because you can't make it to this one. Sooner Fan 4321 was at the Knoxville game.
Ooh.
Sooner Fan 4321. Give us one word to describe that game.
That would be awesome. I'm excited for this.
Updoc's excited for a night game.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be fun.
I'm not exactly thrilled about it, but what can I do? Exhausting. That was worth the wait there.
So, most of you probably don't know, but that was such an epic game that the two of us, myself and Tom,
everyone knows at this point,
actually wrote a poem.
We pull this from the hat way too often.
But have we played it on our show yet?
Oh, goodness. I don't think so.
All right. Are you ready to listen to the poem inspired by Oklahoma over Tennessee in Knoxville? I think you should brace yourselves because this is going to be great. This is read by Tom. I will leave it at that.
How long?
Here-
Hold on. How long is this? I got.
It's about 5.5 minutes.
All right, I got time then.
Okay. With no further ado, here is Loco Suppressor. Thanks for the sub. All right. Body 7. Thanks for the follow. Chat, remember, go ahead and follow.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah, it's
ahead
an
and
epic
subscribe.
poem. It's an epic poem. You ever heard of him?
Yes. 5.5 minute poem. Yes. We borrowed heavily from a poem you may have heard before. But enjoy.
This is a poem of Sooner magic.
The suspense is
Composed
terrible.
by Blinkin Riley.
I hope it'll last.
Trusting sidekick Tom. Conceived and written after several Bush beers and the occasional natty light. After the Sooner comeback win at Tennessee. This is Sterling in the Flat.
The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Oklahoma men that day. The score stood 17-3 with but a quarter left to play. When Pirine couldn't score and Mixon was the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. Straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast.
Having
They
trouble with the
thought
play button there,
If
guy?
only Sterling could get his hands on that, they'd put up even money now with Sterling in the flat. But Neal had all the targets, as did also Westbrook. The former always tripped, and the latter was a rook. So upon that stricken multitude, grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Sterling's getting to the flat. But Neal broke away for 10, to the wonderment of all. And Westbrook, the tiny-handed, wrapped them both around the ball. And when the dust had lifted and the men saw what had occurred, there was Westbrook with a first and Neal converting third. Then from 5,000 throats or more, there rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley. It rattled in the dell. It knocked upon the rocky mountain and recoiled upon the flat. For Sterling, mighty Sterling, was breaking towards the flat. There was focus in Sterling's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Sterling's bearing and a smile on Sterling's face. And when responding to the cheers, he dug his cleats into the mat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt the call was Sterling to the flat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the readied center ground the ball into its place, defiance gleamed in Sterling's eye. A sneer curled Sterling's face. And now the leather-covered ball came hurtling through the air, and Sterling stood a-watching in hesitation there. Close by the wiry wideout, the ball unheeded sped. He interfered, said Sterling. Second down, the referee said. From benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the referee, shouted someone in the stands, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Sterling raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Sterling's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to Mayfield, and once more the air the ball found, but Sterling couldn't reach it. The referee said third down. Fraud, cried the maddened thousands, and the echo answered fraud. But one scornful look from Sterling, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Sterling would not let that ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Sterling's lip. His eyes were peered, alert. He digs with cruel violence his cleats into the dirt. And now Mayfield lets it go, and now Sterling turns at the 5, and now the air is shattered by the force of Sterling's dive. Norman is a favored land. The sun is shining bright. The band is playing there. In Norman, hearts are light. And then their Swits are laughing for his Sooners, for his town. There is only joy in Norman, for Sterling, mighty Sterling, has scored the magic touchdown. Finn.
Thank you for listening to the Sooner Football Fans podcast. Sooner Football Fans is not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma, but we do have eligibility left. Boom up.
Okay. How'd you like that? Masterpiece, up Doc says. Sooner fan. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job, guys. Magel bagel. Clap, clap. Thank you. Thank you. We wrote that years ago, right after the game. It was... Body 7 says they're moved.
You know, it's going to be nice. We'll have to... We're going to have to dust it off before next year's game, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to revisit that.
Either that or we've got to find some more poems to steal and write about Oklahoma football games.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, we were, like, sober when we wrote it. Stole it. For the most part.
I did most of the work most of the writing at work.
Yeah, like
bounce it off of you. Well, you don't work the same hours as I do, so you were okay to bounce it off of. But
even if I do work the same hours.
But no, I spent a day doing that. It was no, that's one of our favorite things that we have from.
I think I missed it, but there's a line in there that I hate that needs a rewrite.
What is it?
I can't remember. I think I'd stepped away by the time I was gone. Oh, I hate that line.
Is it when you said again?
No, that is like my favorite line.
Oh. You guys actually work?
We have jobs.
We have actual jobs, yeah.
Whether or not we're doing any actual work is a different thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
We are employed.
Sammy Rages, thanks for the follow.
That's the night that apparently that's the night that killed the Tennessee Volunteers program.
It was. Yes.
Blinkin, what do you do for a living?
So I work in data performance management. So I take everyone's KPIs and, make sure everyone's measuring things the way they should be. Basically, I'm Blinkin Riley for organization. So
Fair.
What do you do, Tom?
I dabble in a little of this, a little of that. But mainly, I direct a newscast for a local television affiliate. That's what I mainly do.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's what
cool.
they pay me to do. It's what they pay me to do. Honestly, like most of my time is just dicking around with you on the internet. So
Yeah, that's true. We do a lot of that.
which
For
please
sure.
continue to pay me for this.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. All right, well, I think it's about that time. Tom, you got any final thoughts going into this week against Iowa State, coming off the initial CFP rankings? You know, what do you got?
Okay, no, we cannot end until, and thank you, Body, for bringing this up. Mike Leach to FSU. Like, how we haven't hit on the Florida State coaching search throughout this entire thing. And, I guess, going on different tangents and poetry readings and things like that, things get lost in the mix. But let's talk about Bob Stoops to Florida State. Can we do that for a second?
We can do that for a second, yeah. And how ridiculous it was. Yes.
I think you hit the nail on the head with your tweets, OU reporter, 15 years experience, ESPN insider, Florida State fans, with that series of tweets. And I guess I didn't see it until I was looking for something today, but your lol chain.
Yes. It was just a chain of something like 15 tweets from, different quote unquote insiders, claiming a deal was near. Just so ridiculous.
I think my favorite thing was it probably like 12 hours before I think the first Florida State report that I saw, Bob Stoops, his Twitter account at least, was hawking some tequila he's selling. He's part of now.
Yeah.
Like, man, this guy is selling tequila. He's a part-time coach. Apparently he doesn't even have a house in Dallas yet.
Well,
He's not going to move.
Technically he was in Florida, but he was at the Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
At 500 miles from Tallahassee, so
it's pretty much the same thing, right?
Essentially, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's
so goofy.
It's so funny. And what was it you were saying? This is the best coaching search since that Tennessee one?
Tennessee, yeah. Remember the John Gruden rumors, and the fan base basically vetoed Greg Schiano. Oh, it was just a shit show.
Well, that works out for Schiano because he gets to go back to Rutgers, I guess.
Hell, that might be a better job at this point.
Yeah, who knows? But what's going to be funny is Bob Stoops is actually doing a meet and greet here in Oklahoma City tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wonder if that's going to come up at all because he's doing a question and answer session, or he's supposed to at least.
Probably.
And it's like a free event open to fans and the public. It's part of building the Oklahoma City chapter of the Dallas Renegades fan club or something.
But yeah, Body7 says Mike Leach to FSU. No, I would become a Florida State booster if it meant getting Mike Leach at Florida State. I would love to see that.
FSU could do a lot worse and will.
Yes, that's probably true. But yeah, no, that was a whole ridiculous episode. It was great. I stayed up till midnight just bookmarking stupid tweets, for the lol thread the next day. So
you late to work, bloodshot eyes. Just don't worry, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no joke. All right. Final thoughts? You got any?
Oklahoma is in a fine position. They need to go out, and style points matter. They need to go out and they need to be dominant. They need to win these games by 20, 25, 30 points to move the needle of sorts, to try and separate themselves should they need to come the final rankings. I think it'll be a good game. I think Oklahoma comes out with a chip on their shoulder this week. I think they win by 20 points.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would say the next few games for Oklahoma, like, look out whoever is in that, whoever's in the way. I think Oklahoma's going to come out focused. They've had to wear a loss for 2 weeks, and if you don't think Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch and everyone else on that staff is getting after those dudes, like, that is going to be one focused and mean team, at least for a few weeks going forward. So, yeah, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a fun game to watch, I think.
Which you will watch in person, live, in Norman, Oklahoma.
Live. From
So,
the Palace on the Prairie.
if any of you are going to the game, get there early. Blinkin will be there, corner of Brooks and Jenkins.
Yeah, Brooks and Jenkins, yeah. Just follow the Sooner podcast, or Sooner Fans podcast, guys. They've got a pretty awesome spread. I'll probably hit that up. So, all right. Well, it's been great. It's been a good show. Thanks to everybody for coming out. Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner.